Let's bring in our panel for today to discuss Logan's Report, host of the Simon Conway Show on News Radio 1040, WHO in Des Moines, Iowa. And that's Simon Conway, of course, and host nationally syndicated Tony Katz today. And eat, drink, smoke, radio shows, Tony Katz and Bill Spady and General Blaine Holt. I got those right. As you would like to say, and we're out of time. Yep. Tony Katz. Tony, your thoughts about this? Because, we were kind of talking about this offset. I don't mean to be flippant about it, but a lot of people felt like these people should have been put under, 6 feet under, a long time ago.
A lot of people think that Saudi Arabia should have had to deal with the consequences then and didn't as well. How do you not just feel horrific about the frustration? Look, I'm a guy who lived in D.C. On September 11th. I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in Jersey, but I wasn't there in New York on September 11th, so I can only feel the pain. I can't imagine what it was that they went through. I know what it was like to be in D.C., though. And you want these families who suffered in a way I did not, and maybe you did not, to be able to either, you can call it closure, or a sense of almost satisfaction. For them not to get it is an ugly feeling. And one should ask, why is it that every time there's a deal made, the deal gets made in a way that leaves an American feeling completely left out of the process, like somehow they're an afterthought to the horror?
Yeah, Simon, I know you're on the ground at the Iowa State Fair, so I wanted to get your thoughts about what you're doing there. But first, please share your thoughts on, again, the latest news that the mastermind may not be killed.
Tony has made very good points. We absolutely need to get to the bottom of what Saudi Arabia knew, if they were involved with it, if they were not involved. We need to know that. We need to know the answer to that. In terms of whether or not these people should be put to death, I believe that personally that I'm not actually a pro-death penalty person, but I do have some exceptions, and in terms of the people responsible for 9/11, clearly these are an exception, and we should have dealt with this a long time ago, and I don't want to see 20 years of appeals either.
Bill Spady, your thoughts on this?
Well, I am a pro-death penalty guy, and I think that there's no question about that. The question is, why are they still alive? Why is this going on? Is there two sides to it? One, is someone hiding something? And on the other side, are they still trying to extract more and use this as leverage? So we don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, General Holt, what are some reasons why they may not be doing this?
Well, one of the things that you have to go ask is, we never got full transparency on the 9/11 Commission report. And without all of the details and information, we don't know what the Pentagon knows. We don't know what the three-letter agencies know about the relationships involved. I would say that the ones that I feel for are the families and all of the American servicemen and women who went out and fought in these wars, lost limbs, lost lives. And when are we going to see justice? Because it seems to me that the terrorists that day have been afforded more due process than most Americans see in their lifetimes if they get into trouble.
All right, let's shift the conversation a little bit. Simon, get back to you. Tell us what's going on in Iowa. You're literally on the ground there. It looks like Iowa ground you're standing on. So give us a feel for the political landscape.
Well, the Iowa State Fair, of course, is a wonderful, wonderful event. It goes on for 10 days. I've shown a steer, 1,350 pounds worth of steer. That was a lot of fun. And I cowboyed up for that, by the way. You should see the pictures. But we've also had lots of people that want to be president coming through our studio. And we've spoken to Ron DeSantis face-to-face. Ramaswamy's come in with his wife. Nikki Haley came in. Mike Pence came in. RFK Jr. Came in as well. Larry Elder has come in. You're putting the pictures up very nicely to help me remember who's coming. Perry Johnson has come in as well. We even spoke to Mayor Suarez out of Miami. So we've had a lot of these potential presidents come through our studio. I'm on the deck of our studio literally right now. So we've spoken to them as well. We've had a whole load of fun. Yesterday we had the Pork Queen on, and she came running into the studio. She was sorry she was late, but she just helped deliver 14 piglets whilst wearing her crown, I should point out.
That is very, very impressive. And was she wearing heels, I wonder?
You don't want to know what was on the heels.
Wait, go ahead.
No, you do not.
Okay, all right. Tony, we saw the image there of all 15 GOP 2024 presidential candidates. Do you think any of them will catch up with former President Donald Trump, especially in light of his ongoing legal problems?
Yeah, look, I've known Simon a good long time in his radio work in Iowa, but let's be clear, Simon, these are not potential presidents. These are possibly some potential candidates. A lot of these people are never going to make it out of the stable, and they're going to end up just like you see the end product in the pork producers tent at the Iowa State Fair. It's not going to be pretty, but it might be delicious. Who catches up to Trump is a real conversation about tactics. You have 4 indictments. They can't be denied. We're not discussing whether we like the indictments, whether we believe in the indictments, whether we don't think this is an absolute travesty of justice in terms of how they have stretched the law, utilizing RICO in Georgia, what you're seeing from Jack Smith. The question is tactics. Do you believe that Donald Trump can win a general election? That's the question before Republican voters. Do you believe he can win a general with all of this on him and possibly from jail? Not that I think he should go to jail, but we should be clear between what Jack Smith is doing in D.C. and what Fani Willis is doing in Fulton County. It's certainly possible, and anybody who thinks otherwise is flat out delusional.
Yeah. That's a view that is not universally held within the Republican Party, but it's a conversation more and more people are having, and we appreciate you bringing it up. Tony Katz, always a pleasure. Same with you, Simon Conway, and Bill Spady and General Blaine Holt. Great having you today with us both hours. We could talk to you all day long.
That's true.
Coming up, it's